Hi guys, 3 years ago I joined Sorare the 27th of September 2020 and I thought it'd be a good idea to show you my Sorare journey from day one, my first ever Sorare lineup until today. Those that have followed me on YouTube and Twitch, I thought it'd be a good idea to break down my gallery, my best ever rewards, my best cards, some little hints and tips along the journey as well. So let's get started with my first ever Sorare lineup. And this is my first ever Sorare lineup back in Game Week 104, October 2020, a long time ago. However, you'll probably recognise most or a few of these players, your Crombrus, your Tabios, who's just moved to Saudi Arabia. So my original plan when I first started Sorare was kind of get into the cheaper regions, your challengers, your J-Leagues. I brought a lot of J-League cards at the start as well. Like it is now, to be honest, Challenger, J-League, MLS probably now as well are the cheaper regions to get into. The Russian defenders, your Gigots and your Elos, for example, these two guys are very OP at that time as well. Otavio, of course, was very good for Porto. He was my main card at the moment in time as well. So this lineup roughly cost me about £300, just kind of going through them now. £70 for the goalkeeper. Defenders costed me just over £100 for both. Otavio £70, and Usami about £55, give or take as well. So that line about £300. I think I put in £500 initially on Sorare. I did come from Football Index as well. So that's kind of my first lineup, but it's a kind of a common theme I'll show you during this video as well. Just jumping into 108, so this is towards the back end of October now. As you can see, a few more J-League cards I brought. And as you can see as well, a common goalkeeper used in a Division 4. So you'll see the divisions as well changed. It used to be called Division 4, now it's called Rare and Rare Pros, of course. And you could put a common goalkeeper at that moment in time as well. Champ D4 as well, so I brought some Champ players. As you can see, they aren't elite players. Now these are just very consistent starters. So again, when I first started Sorare, I wanted consistent starters that played every single game week. And again, just to point out, this was during the time of COVID, and a lot of games, for example, got postponed at the last moment as well. And again, that's my my Challenge Europe card I mentioned just a moment ago, an All-Star Division 4 where the ETH used to be. So now you have to win ETH in the cap mode. It was an All-Star Division 4, and again, you could use a common goalkeeper, but there was like a little penalty for using those. As you can see, I've got the likes of Rob Scoff, who is in my gallery at the moment in time as a super rare. That's one of my common themes as well, which we'll kind of come across to, is a lot of my rare cards transformed into super rares down the line. So, for example, Ivan Audits as well and Rob Scoffs. If we kind of jump into Audits, when he used to play in Russia, what a card he was, by the way. Look at those scores. And again, to this day, I do own his super rare. It's the same for Rob Scoffs. Murillo as well, owner super rare. Ito, for example. Ronye had as a super rare at one point. Denier. So that's kind of one of my first tip. If you're playing limited at the moment and moving on to rares, look at those limited cards you've got that always consistent starting. The good scorers, and then going to buy them at rare. Same if you're playing in rare at the moment, want to jump up to super rare. If you've got consistent rare cards that are playing every single game week, manager really likes and on set pieces, for example, and the good scorers, go out there and try and get their super rare card to sell your rare card, for example. Moving on to game week 112, the first time I really had success on Sorare, finishing the top 10 P7. Now you might notice here this score, it isn't a glitch. This is just how the bonuses used to work on Sorare back in the day. So that's a lot that kind of got me my first tier 1, I believe, in All-Star Division 4. Again, the similar sort of players in here as well in Challenger. Now, you might have noticed I built an under-23 team as well. Alex Corral, what a throwback he was. Matthew Nunes as well. Yeah, I did scout him quite a while ago. A champ team as well. Lukovic Savic was one of my main threats as well. So what I tried to begin as well is having a main guy for each team. So it was Rob Scarf, I believe, Otavio and Savic as well, who are the main sort of guys that will be my captain here every single game week, and they were the main sort of threats in each lineup that I build. So rewards that I won, it was a Rudiaz, who I currently have still in my gallery. I did finish 8th for you as well, winning a tier 0 or a star rare. That was in Asia. But yeah, Rui Diaz, I still own to this day. So 7th position is a card that I've used quite a lot in the MLS sort of regions. But yeah, my first success on Sorare was in game week 112. In November 2020, I was enjoying Sorare so much, I decided to make another deposit and go all in. So I brought Victor Osimhen on the 5th of November for £135, which is 0.4 ETH. Now you might be sitting there thinking, £135 for a rare Victor Osimhen. Jackie was so lucky to play so rare, be on the game in 2020, and I fully agree. However, at that moment in time as well, Sorare was very new. It was a big risk. Not many people were playing it. In all fairness, it wasn't as big as it was now. It was a massive risk for me to put £135 on the card. Yeah, looking back now, it's very cheap. But at that moment in time, it was a lot of money. It still is today as well, of course. 0.4 ETH as well. In today's terms, it is a great deal, of course. Now trading at just over, well, just under £700, I should say. The same week, the day after, I got my first ever super rare card, Alex Corral, who we just mentioned just. So again, the transition from rare to super rare, the same player. And it's the same story for Bamba as well. I have Bamba super rare today as well. So again, very cheap in terms of pound, £300 for a super rare and a rare Bamba. Again, the ETH 0.9 ETH, which is quite a lot. Yeah, my first ever super rare. I can actually remember this trade back to the day as well. Again, the same week, November the 8th, another super rare, Lukumi, who was absolutely amazing for Genk as well. Just want to kind of show you his scores. I'm sure you all recognise Lukumi, but what a player he was, by the way, when he did play for Genk. I did sell this super rare a long time ago. It's one of those super rares that I didn't want to sell, but looking back now, it was a great time to sell him. But look at those scores when he did start for Genk. So yeah, one of my favourite cards, I must say, on Sorare. And again, 25th, so a bit later on in the month, I brought Ito. So probably my top 3 to 5 cards to own on Sorare. This card was absolutely amazing. Again, you might notice I did have his rare. I have got his super rare, different card than this one. But Ito and Onachu for Genk were unbelievable. I remember every Friday night, he just seemed to go on assist every single game. Paying 0.65 ETH, which is just under £300 at that moment in time. So how did my lamps look in game week 118? Finishing 8th position in All-Star Division 3, which is All-Star Rare Pro. Now, of course, Lukumi obviously in there as well, and a couple other different super rares and rare cards. And again, this is how my lamps looked at that moment in time in All-Star Challenger Rare Pro as well. Again, E2 was unbelievable in here. So this was just before I kind of brought D2 super rare, in all fairness. Charles Kettler as well, we'll kind of touch on him later on in this video. Again, the All-Star under 23 Division 4 team that I had as well. So again, some of the players I recognise, some of the players that I've turned from rare to super rare later down the line as well. But you can see my sort of gallery transitioning from the All-Star rares, the Asia divisions in D4 to the rare pros or the D3s at that moment in time. So that was the end of November when I really started getting into Sorare and thought, this game has got potential. I'm really enjoying myself. Let's see how this can continue. Game week 127 finished on Christmas and the reward came out on Christmas Day. So remember, waking up Christmas morning, absolutely buzzing to finish 2nd position and have a star rare to open in Champ Europe. So this is Champ Europe Division 3 or Champ Rare Pro as you see it today. A very strong lineup. So Christmas Day, I woke up and I won an Oblak for finishing P2. An unbelievable reward for that day. I still own Oblak now, and he's one of my cards, and one of my better cards actually, in kind of grinding more rewards with that goal. So absolutely buzzing with that one. And as you can see, won a lot more cards over the festive period as well. Now I just want to jump in to what I planned to do after that. So, I kind of changed my strategy but slightly. So buying a few wonder kids or young players. And we'll touch on Kimmich in a moment in time as well, who just kind of gone past the bottom here. But the plan was after the New Year's, as you can see, 2021 to start. I brought a lot of players that weren't starting at the moment in time. So Costa Porto wasn't starting. Ramos, who have sold now, wasn't starting, I don't believe, at that moment in time. And these sort of players here, again, a few goalkeepers that still don't play to today's date. Trubin, who we won't talk about too much because I did sign not long ago after just there. But my strategy changed a little bit, buying a few wonder kids or young players, Chevalier as well there as well for very, very cheap. So I do play Football Manager. I kind of scouted through some young players on there. So my gallery changed very slightly. Again, Brian Nuno Mendes, Sanchez as well, Nacho Sanchez, a lot of money. So my gallery changed from, playing Challenger and Champ on 23 to buying these super rares that I can maybe sell on in the future. And that paid dividends as well. Again, I'll come on to that later on in the video. I want to talk this purchase here. 30th of December, I spent 2.6 Ethereum on Joshua Kimmich. So at that moment in time, it was £1,400, my biggest purchase, for a long time on Sorare. It was a massive statement for me. If we just kind of look at the all-time chart, it was right down here. As you can see, I probably could have sold him for a lot of money there, but hey ho, he's won me a lot of rewards on Sorare. So as you can see, the gaming yield and the reward now, roughly over £6,000 in terms of his contribution back then to how rewards was. So yeah, Kimmich is probably my favourite card. Maybe him and Gale on Sorare that I won that moment in time. So those kind of awards that I've won, some cards I've brought, again changing my focus from players playing at that moment in time to some players like maybe like say Costas, your Chris Richards, for example, those young players that weren't playing that I knew I could sell on in the future. Fast forward to April 2021. As you can see, I finished second position in Champion Europe Division for a great school, my first ever podium on Sorare. However, as you can see, I was just 1.82 points away from finishing first. So the reason why I'm so gutted I can't show you in a moment in time, the last game to play was Napoli versus Lazio. I always remember this game. Ruiz got a yellow card in the first half. I was just hoping for a few more passes, but it never came, and I was 2 points from finishing first position. The reason why I'm so gutted, as you can see, I won a Sorare, which is absolutely unbelievable for my gallery at that moment in time. But Tom C, right there, William Mbappe, this guy here, you might know him, Mbappe, at 10 ETH at that moment in time. Now, I wasn't going to probably sell Mbappe. I might have done, probably wouldn't have done. But the reason why I'm so gutted how we could have changed my gallery completely is the rewards he could have won for me between then and now. So that could have changed my Sorare journey completely. However, it's all, swings and roundabouts. Yeah, so close to winning Mbappe on that time out. And just from there, really, so this is game week 159, was probably one of my best periods on Sorare. So towards the end of that season, this is April into the summer. As you can see, I got a couple of second position finishes here in Champ and Challenger in the same game week, winning 2 goalkeepers. One of my best weeks ever on Sorare. And as you can see, in game week 167, the first time on Sorare that I won. So I finished first position. Okoye, Lukumi, Yeketele, Kirchu, and Fashion Sackler as well. Quite a strange lot there. Yeah, winning my first ever, third position on Sorare. And for that, I wanted Martinez and a Subin as well, who have sold both of those cards. So my first ever win on Sorare. And as you can see, it went into the summer as well, finishing second position in under 23. I actually won it again, under 23 D4 this time, finishing first. Now I think this was a midweek all over the summer, hence why this card's not Mbappe's, your Martinez's, for example. It's not a really standout play, but that's one of my better periods on Sorare. A lot of second position finishes, a couple of third position finishes as well. I was absolutely buzzing with those results, and again, so close to winning Mbappe. Again, just delving into my transactions after those results, I was very happy. I was selling these rewards as well. I was building more, super rare lineups, buying more super rares at the same time as well, and really getting into Sorare. Buying MLS super rares to play over the summer as well. Probably the wrong time to buy them in all fairness. But again, buying plays toward the end of the season in May, ready for the new season, which is a great tip on Sorare, to buy players when their season is about to close. Is a cheapest time usually. But as you can see, a few players sold, a few players brought in, a few, again, wonder kids. maybe not so much so. Again, buying a few super rares, selling a few super rares, a lot of trading going on in the summertime. This is probably my busiest time in terms of trading. A lot of cards going in and out of the gallery. Now I'm very much more relaxed on Sorare. Don't do a lot of trading in all fairness, which is probably my downfall. I'm very attached to my players, as I mentioned a few times. Yeah, over the summer in 2021 was a big gallery clear out, a lot of different changes going on in my gallery. Buying a Veman there as well in the 0.385. Around this time as well, I was using Football Manager, I was using Y Scout, for example, that Matasui as well here. I watched him plenty of times in Holland, a CDM role. You know, I scouted him quite a lot to buy his super rare card, a box-to-box midfielder, like a ball-win midfielder as well. So I was really scouting heavily, then using Football Manager, for example, watching a lot of videos, watching a lot of football, again, over that summer at the same time, as well as the highlights. So in 2021 was a big time for me in terms of sorting my gallery out, getting a lot of rewards in, signing them on, buying new players to really, enhance my gallery. And just showing you some card rewards that I won during 2022. The likes of Leroy Sané finishing second in All-Star Rare Pro. Ferran Torres finishing 10th position again in All-Star Rare Pro. Joe Hart 5th. If you haven't guessed already, All-Star Rare Pro was one of my, main sort of lineups. It still is to this day in All-Star, in So Rare. Shaqiri Magno for Underdog Super Rare, which is kind of like Cap 220 now. Luke de Jong as well, 5th position All-Star Rare Pro. Arnold, 4th position in Champs Super Rare, which is unbelievable for my gallery at that moment in time. A few goalkeepers in here as well. But the next kind of game week is game week 316. As you can see, I finished first position for Specialty Super Rare. So what that basically is, it's similar to Cap 270 now. However, in Specialty Super Rare, I think you only allow one player over the L15 or 60, and the rest had to be below that. I might be wrong, but I'm guessing that was something similar to what it was. But as you can see, I finished first position here. Not an amazing lineup, probably put these in, wasn't expecting too much from this in all honesty. But this won my first ever unique, a tier 2 unique and a tier 1 super rare. So the super rare was Christian Burgess from St. Glees in the Jupiler Pro League, so a very good defender. I did sell him in the end to try and reinvest into better plays more suited to my gallery. And then I won a Kaminsky unique from Wolfsburg, who I have traded recently for a Brad Stuber. So it's probably not the amazing trade on my end. Kaminsky doesn't play all the time for Wolfsburg. He's under 23 as well. He had an amazing play, was okay here. But at that moment in time, I did need a super rare goalkeeper, especially in MLS. So at that moment in time, it did feel right. Moving forward in my gallery, I probably do need more uniques to play the kickoff unique. I don't have any uniques at the moment in time. I probably can force myself now to maybe play uniques a little better. But I'm trying to strengthen my super rare. But yeah, in game week 316, towards the end of 2022, I won my first ever unique on So Rare. These are the rewards that I won at the start of this year, including the Victor Osimhen finishing first place in under 23 rare, Odyssey second position for All-Star Rare Pro, third place guy won Bruno Fernandes at that time, so I was very gutted because I wanted a Fernandes and I already owned an Odyssey. And obviously now he's gone to Forest and Fernandes is doing really well at United. Kepa finishing second in Cap 240 Super Rare, which have gone to sell recently as well, or quite a while ago actually. And then into the season, as you might know already, when Antonio Silva finishing P2 in Challenger Rare Pro. So it was him and a few other under 23 defenders that I had in my mind to buy this summer or start this season. So I was very happy to win him. And then most recently finishing P7 in under 23 Rare Pro, winning a Julian, I should say, Alvarez from Manchester City in game 407. So very happy with that reward as well. What I want to do now, guys, is kind of take you through some of my transactions on those wonder kids I mentioned quite a while ago. So those players that I brought, during 2021, I think it was, and especially those super rares that I've gone to sell. Now, I've done a Twitter post on this, so I'll bring this up right now. And this is a Twitter thread that I mentioned just a moment ago. So how Sorare helped me to pay for a house deposit last year in Football Manager. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I started Sorare playing the challenge, the Asia regions, just to play the SO5, but also the view of banning these wonder kids from playing Sorare. So as I mentioned at the start of 2021, I think it was, I really set this target and I brought some players. Some have worked out, some haven't. Paying 0.134 for a player and 0.2 for Nyman, who I don't think is playing at the moment in time. So it's definitely not financial advice. As you can see, some players here, like Nuno Mendes, brought for under £1,000, sold for over 8. Biggest kind of one for me is Gakpo, buying him for £2,200 and selling for just less than £20,000, which obviously I withdrew a lot of that money to pay for the house deposit, of course. Now, as I mentioned here, it's definitely not financial advice. I've also lost a lot of value on cards too. So, for example, my guy was worth over £200,000 last year. It's now worth 70. I probably do have more cards as well compared to when it was at £200,000 as well. So definitely not financial advice. A lot of players have lost value on, especially like Vinny Jr. for example. I think I brought him about 4.5 Ethereum. Now he's over just over one Ethereum, I think, at the moment in time. So definitely, not financial advice. It doesn't happen all the time. I'm very lucky during the bull runs in crypto as well. But yeah, a bit of a flavour there of the wonder kids that I've brought in. It can happen. I see a lot of people nowadays ban these wonder kids, and they can pay off buying the right ones. The only conundrum you have is when you ban wonder kids from like your challenge, your MLS, for example. A lot of people look at the SO5 scoring now on Sorare, of course, to win those rewards and real life experiences. When they go to play for these champion Europe clubs, they don't always work out. Hence why I would rather buy a wonder kid or a young player coming through one of the top 5 clubs, again, just my opinion, because they already kind of played at a high level during that career. But yeah, some hearty plays there. Feel free to head over to my Twitter and check this thread out as well. Yeah, there's some wonder kids that I picked up on Sorare too. I'm just going to share my favourite players on Sorare. So Kimmich and Gill, I would say, are my top 2. I've got another 4 to show you that I've mentioned a few times on this video. First up is Moriaka. So you might be thinking, Jack, why the hell is he one of your favourite players on Sorare? So people that used to play in 2020, 2021 on Sorare, the Sorare OGs, will know just how good this guy is back in the day. Not sure what's happened most recently. I think he's felt the manager and the club. But look how good he was back in Sorare. His price, I think, hits, I think 2 Ethereum at one point. I'm sure it did. If you just change that to Ethereum, 1.8 Ethereum it hit. I did buy him and sell him at some point as well. I'm not sure what's happened there. I think I did buy him back again, of course. And as you can see, he's limited and rare, so I do like this player. But yeah, as you can see, most recently, he did start a few games this season. But again, trust me, back in 2021, guys, this guy was an absolute monster on Sorare. I've already touched on this next guy, Lukumi, who had a rare and super rare of when he played for Genk, so I won't talk too much about him. But again, another monster defender that I play consistently in under 23 that did win me a lot of rewards. Next up is Lukonga. And again, you might be thinking, Jackie plays for Arsenal, Luton, what the hell are you talking about here? But when he played in the Jupiler Pro League, he was unbelievable. And again, he was just very consistent, hitting those 60 scores. And again, those guys that did play Sorare back in 2021 and 2020 will know what I'm talking about. This guy was unbelievable. The under 23 midfielder to have on Sorare. And I might even tweet about this as well. He's still on 23 as well. Unbelievable. Yeah, one of those guys you had to put in your under 23 team each week. And again, won me a lot of reward on Sorare. Last but not least, probably my favourite card on Sorare, in all honesty, is Junior Ito. Obviously now plays for Reims in the French division. Again, I still own his super rare now, a different super rare that I did have before. Again, used to own his rare and another super rare card. But again, just looking at Genk when he did start, he was absolutely unbelievable. Again, every Friday and Sunday night he seemed to play and used to get an assist. So a few low scores here, but honestly, guys, it just felt every time he played, especially him in Onachu, I'd be very surprised if one of these games Onachu hasn't scored or got an assist. There we go. I'm pretty sure Ito would have set up Onachu for that goal as well. Them two, Matt Trezor, for example, and Lukumi. What a team this was for Genk, again, a few years ago. That moves us on to the last section of this video of what are my future plans for Sorare. So as you can see, just at the top here, I've got 152 limited cards, 186 rare cards and 56 super rare cards. So I'm not quite ready to jump into the elite market just yet, just because of the value of those cards, even though some are at a really good price. But I just feel like I need to improve my super rare cards first of all. I don't feel like I'm quite at that level just yet. Rare cards, I'm probably missing 2 or 3 PCs. Saka, it's no secret. I'm after a Saka rare card from Arsenal. It's one of my top targets. Limited cards, I don't pay too much attention to. Now, if I wasn't a content creator, in all honesty, I probably wouldn't own many limited cards, maybe none at all. I'm not quite sure what to do with them just yet. But I do like the idea, kind of giving some away and giving people the opportunity to build my lamps for the game week. So I haven't thought too far ahead yet of those cards, but they are getting very competitive now. I think I've got 1.8 ETH worth of limited cards in my gallery that can be fun towards a rare or super rare. So I might rethink that again in the future. But yeah, look at my super rare cards this game week, for example. Perfect lineup here. Now, Distar, Kuipers, for example, Uninstall are great super rares to have, of course. I feel like I'm just missing 1 or 2 other super rares in my lamps as well. In rares, so Gil, Veeman, I've got Fernandez down here, Bakasetas, Trippier. I'm very happy with my rares, bar 1 or 2 players. But the super rares, could I do better? Michele is a decent scorer, but is he an elite super rare to have in the gallery? Not too bad here again. One player I'm definitely looking at, or one certain section I'm looking at, is an under 23 super rare card. As you can see this game week, I've had to use 1 super rare, and in all honesty, it'd probably work better if I just used 5 rares, to be honest. But yeah, I'm definitely looking at maybe 1 extra super rare in here that can fit into this slot, or maybe even 2 in the future. That's something that I'm lacking. Again, rares I'm pretty happy with. So yeah, I'm not too fussed about them. Yeah, moving forward, they're the kind of plans. Super rare market I'm looking at. I'm still being patient with the right auction, the right card, and a lot of scouting. A couple of rare cards to go, but as we know that people that play so rare, it's never just one more card. You could say, I just need this player, I'm done. And before you know it, when your player's injured or you see another player and he's top scorer, you have to go out and game. So that's kind of my future plans on Sorare at this moment in time. So that is my Sorare journey, guys. And if you are still watching the video, I've got a little surprise for you. I'm giving away a Sasaki. All you have to do is literally like the video, make sure you're subbed to the channel, and comment your favourite player on Sorare in the comment section below with your Twitter handle. So your favourite Sorare player with your Twitter handle, and your opportunity to win a Sasaki limited card on Sorare. I'll pick the winner over the next week or 2. Make sure you get involved on that giveaway. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.